This is Steve. Tonight, the truth may leave you breathless. A woman slithering through the deep forest with the massive body of a serpent. A young girl with wild deer legs. And a dark, witch-like figure performing a ritual in the middle of a crowded street. What is this world really hiding beneath those disturbing skins? Do you choose to trust science or believe in ancient curses rising once again? Are you ready to take a closer look at the evidence with me? In front of the camera lies a creature curled tightly inside a metal container. Its lower body thick, smooth, and coiled like that of a massive snake just dragged from its burrow. But what truly sends a chill down your spine is the upper half. According to the account of a 22-year-old Cambodian man named Sorn, the creature was discovered in May while Laos soldiers were patrolling the Laos-Cambodia border. As they moved through a patch of abandoned land near the forest, they noticed a strange object lying motionless on the ground, tightly coiled. From a distance, it looked no different from a large snake resting. The face that emerged was not a snake's head, but a face bearing unmistakably human features. The eyes were small and sunken, the gaze dull, yet still moving. The mouth hung open as if struggling to breathe, revealing uneven teeth and a thin, sharply protruding chin. On both sides of the head were patches of skin and sparse hair, creating an unsettling impression that was part human hair, part animal fur. The lower half of the creature was a long, flexible snake tail, tightly coiled. The upper body, however, had the frail shape of a human, so emaciated that the bone structure beneath the skin was clearly visible. The skin was dark, wrinkled, and rough, as if it had gone through repeated layers of shedding. Around the neck and shoulders, the skin cracked into plates, resembling the molting process of a reptile. Reporters also noted that the capture of this human-like, yet serpentine creature by Laos soldiers sparked intense discussion along the borders of Laos, Cambodia, and Thailand. What's more, images of this snake-faced being began circulating as postcards and one-minute video clips, drawing significant interest from buyers. Take a close look at this moment. Right in the middle of dense foliage deep within unexplored jungle. The camera is shaking, but we can still clearly make out a form that is anything but normal. The upper half is a woman, with warm brown skin and long black hair, looking no different from local women of the tropical region. But lower your gaze just a bit, and her lower body becomes a long, slender band of muscle, slithering exactly like a massive anaconda you would expect to see on American wildlife and exploration shows. My mind immediately jumped to the legend of the Naga in Eastern mythology, but seeing something like this appear on camera is a shock on a completely different level. Judging by the proportions, the snake tail would have to be at least 15 feet long, roughly the length of a modern full-size pickup truck. That said, the blurriness of the footage raises a major question. Is this a genuine cryptid or simply a dirty marketing stunt designed to farm engagement on TikTok and Instagram? What do you think? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Leaving the dense jungles of Indonesia behind, let's turn our attention to the lifeless black sands where another entity appears to be waiting. Take a good look at this creature's skin. It's nothing like the smooth, shimmering surface we're used to seeing in fantasy films. Instead, it's jet black, coarse, and looks incredibly tough, resembling the rubber tread on heavy-duty Goodyear truck tires fresh off the production line. The structure of its dorsal fin is razor-sharp and rigid, seemingly built to withstand the crushing pressure of the deep ocean floor, a place where sunlight has never reached. This immediately brought to mind strange military reports dating back to World War II. Japanese and American soldiers stationed around the Kai Islands once spoke in terror of hostile sea monsters with long claws and deep, gurgling calls. The only difference is that veterans described those creatures as having pale pink skin, while the being in this video is dark as solid coal. Is this the result of a genetic mutation caused by extreme environmental conditions? Or are we looking at an entirely new race of mermaids? Let's set the mermaid aside, because something even more unsettling reportedly took place at Alameda Park in Mexico City. A witch was allegedly seen performing a ritual. In the middle of Mexico's bustling streets, a looming dark figure slowly emerged, so out of place it felt almost unreal. This is Leobarda, the woman who has set Mexican social media on fire. She was dressed head to toe in black, her face concealed behind a lace veil, looking like a character pulled straight from a classic Gothic horror film, or a so-called voodoo queen out of New Orleans we've all heard stories about. If you had been standing just a few yards away, I guarantee you would have felt a cold shiver crawl up your spine as she began making strange movements right there in public. Some believe this was nothing more than a performance designed to attract online attention. But if you look closely at her otherworldly presence, it feels disturbingly real. Could Mexico City be sitting on an ancient spiritual energy we've never fully understood? And here's the real question. If you ran into her by chance, would you dare to stay and watch the ritual to the end? Let me know what you think down below. Leaving Mexico behind, we return to Indonesia to face a piece of CCTV footage that has sparked intense debate. Look at the treetops in the upper left corner of the screen. A pitch-black humanoid figure suddenly drops to the ground with incredible agility. Do you see it? The entire body absorbs light, appearing as if it were coated in Vantablack, a material so dark the human eye struggles to perceive any shape at all. Honestly, the way that shadow plunges down from the trees instantly reminded me of predatory creatures from Hollywood horror films. And if this were just a thief, why appear in such an exposed, theatrical, and terrifying way? Then the police stepped in with an explanation. According to authorities, this was a local woman suffering from mental health issues who had painted her entire body black after believing she was a dark witch practicing black magic. Now let's forget the pitch-black shadows and move on to a sight I thought only existed in Disney movies, yet somehow it appeared right outside a residential home. Take a close look at the entity hovering just above the front steps. It has a small, delicate frame with soft, alluring features, resembling a miniature woman. The most shocking detail is the large wings on its back. They are semi-transparent, with dark veins running symmetrically through them, instantly recalling the wings of a monarch butterfly, a familiar sight in gardens across the United States. However, with every beat of these wings, a faint bioluminescent glow is released, moving smoothly and naturally, with no sign of mechanical rotors like those found on modern micro-drones. I find myself torn between two extreme possibilities. Either this is an extraterrestrial being with a biological structure similar to Earth insects, or a lost entity from another dimension. What do you think? Now let me take you into a wilder space, where an entity that feels torn straight out of Greek mythology exists right in front of the camera. The first thing that came out of my mouth was, wow, what the hell is this? From the waist up, she carries an incredibly captivating, striking beauty with a free-spirited edge to it. But when the camera tilts downward, every rule of human anatomy completely collapses. Instead of a young woman's legs, we see a pair of limbs with reversed joints, ending in solid hooves. Her legs and part of her body are covered in a thin, soft coat of golden brown fur, eerily similar to the hide of a white-tailed deer commonly found in suburban forests across the United States. Even her ears are long and pointed, constantly twitching as if scanning every faint sound in her surroundings. I can't help but wonder whether this is the result of a secret hybrid experiment, or if the legendary fawns have truly been hiding among us all along. Do you think this is the work of a gifted makeup artist, or an undocumented mythical being? Let me know your thoughts. But now, beauty gives way to pure unease as we turn our attention to human-faced beasts. Let's take a closer look at these winged nightmares. Focus on the first bird. Its face is deeply wrinkled and razor-sharp, instantly calling to mind the Western witches from grim fairy tales, or those cracked rubber masks you'd find in old curiosity shops in Salem. When it opens its mouth and lunges toward the camera, its beak stretches wide like a dark mine shaft, ready to swallow its prey whole. In another clip, we encounter a creature that looks like a grumpy, elderly neighbor caught mid-scowl. Its skin is ash gray and rough, like weathered concrete along aging interstate highways. But it's the eyes that truly haunt you. They are stark white and glowing, like the high beams of a pickup truck cutting through the night, piercing straight into the viewer's mind with open hostility. This level of aggression clearly isn't a natural response for any ordinary bird. What do you think about these winged old men? Are they scientific monstrosities, or a new kind of demonic entity on the rise? Share your thoughts below. And it doesn't end there. There are more beings with human faces that defy all naming. Take a look at this. Curled up in the dark corner of a house is an entity that makes all conventional biology surrender. Look at that filthy, matted mass of fur. It resembles an old, discarded doormat left to rot in a damp basement somewhere in the American Midwest. But as the camera moves closer, a horrifying truth is revealed. Embedded within that thick, tangled fur, coarse and patchy like the coat of a diseased hedgehog, is the face of an elderly man, complete with sagging wrinkles and lifeless gray skin. That face does not belong on a body twisted into four crouched limbs, creating a deeply unsettling visual fracture. It feels like a failed draft thrown out from an illegal DNA hybridization project in an 80s horror film, something that should never have been allowed to exist. Is this a cursed creature or evidence of dark projects still operating quietly right next to us? Let's put the unsettling human-faced creatures aside for a moment and turn to something straight out of mythology, captured in the high mountains of Spain. A hiker unknowingly recorded a moment that sent shockwaves across the internet. Walking calmly through the vast wilderness is a being that feels impossibly out of place. Look closely at its lower half. Powerful, muscular horse legs move with the smooth, confident stride of a wild Mustang roaming the plains of Nevada. But above that, the upper body belongs entirely to a young woman, vibrant and alive, her hair flowing naturally with each step. There is no chaos, no violence. What unsettles people the most is how normal this creature appears, existing peacefully within the landscape as if it truly belongs there. So I have to ask, did we just witness a living, breathing myth? Or is this the work of a digital artist operating at an absurdly high level? A beauty that feels unreal, appearing right in the middle of the real world. Do you believe in centaurs? Or is this simply a masterful trick of the camera? Let me know what you think. But that isn't the only piece of evidence. Take a look at this entity lying beside the road. At first glance, she appears to be an ordinary young woman. But from the waist down, her body transitions seamlessly into that of a horse resting on the ground. What stands out most is the skin. It isn't a single solid color, but covered in black and white speckled patterns that immediately resemble the famous Appaloosa horses found on ranches across the western United States. These markings flow naturally from her hips down to the hooves, blending human and animal anatomy in a way that feels disturbingly convincing. Her posture looks exhausted, unposed, like a wild creature that has collapsed after a long and draining journey. What troubles me most is why this being would appear so close to a roadway, a place frequented by humans. Maybe it's nothing more than elaborate cosplay meant to draw attention. But even so, the question of whether centaurs could truly exist refuses to leave my mind. After so many terrifying hybrids, Let's move to a case that's strangely ironic. Gardner, Kansas, 2016. Local police installed trail cameras to track a mountain lion reportedly roaming near town. What they ended up capturing looked more like the strangest zoo in America. Look at these images. A werewolf-like figure wearing a cheap plastic mask. Someone lumbering through the woods in a gorilla suit. Even Santa Claus himself, casually holding a beer while wandering through the forest at night. The footage feels crude and ridiculous, like props from low-budget horror movies aired on local TV after midnight. But things take a darker turn when we look at reports from biology students at Virginia Tech. While reviewing wildlife research photos, they discovered something far more disturbing. A completely naked man, running through the Appalachian forest on all fours, moving with the speed and posture of a true wild primate. It seems that security cameras capturing humans pretending to be monsters has become a way to troll law enforcement. But the naked man in Virginia raises a different possibility altogether. Behavioral psychology, or extremist groups obsessed with returning to a primal state of nature. So the question remains, are these just harmless pranks? Or are there people out there truly trying to abandon their humanity and live as wild beings in the depths of the forest? The next footage pulls us back into something far darker and heavier. And honestly, it makes me want to shut the computer off immediately. Look straight into those wide open eyes. That is not the empty stare of a wild animal. There is something unmistakably human trapped behind them. This entity has the overall shape of a canine, yet its behavior is deeply unsettling. Watch closely. It slowly licks the iron bars of the cage, over and over, with a mechanical rhythm, as if its soul was taken a long time ago. The unnatural stillness of its body is haunting, reminding me of patients abandoned in decaying mental institutions, or worse, a failed hybrid from some shadowy black project. It resembles a North American gray wolf that has been biologically twisted beyond recognition, forced to endure psychological torment inside a cramped, lightless enclosure. The horror here does not come from cheap jump scares. It comes from how disturbingly human this creature feels inside a monstrous body. I can't shake the suspicion that this video leaked from a secret biological research facility, one where they may be experimenting with human and animal DNA to create real dogman soldiers. If this is real, then what we are witnessing is a crime against nature. After the suffocating tension of the dogman footage, we move to something lighter in tone, yet fiercely debated across online forums. Vivian Gomez's home security camera captured something that left more than 11 million people scratching their heads. Look at this thin, wiry little figure fumbling around near the car. Oversized ears, long, spindly legs. It looks uncannily like Dobby the house elf from the Harry Potter films stepping straight into the real world. The way it moves feels half like an improvised Sunday morning dance, half like a mischievous kid sneaking outside while wearing nothing but underwear and his dad's flip-flops. And judging by the solid shadow cast on the ground, we know this is not a camera glitch. What catches my attention is the movement of its elbows and knees. There is something very human about it, almost like a neighborhood kid pulling a prank for attention. Still, others are convinced this is a gray-type alien, often reported in the deserts of the western United States due to its surreal proportions. Whether this is just a viral dance trend or an uninvited visitor from somewhere beyond our world, its natural, casual behavior forces us to ask questions. Does this look like a kid in underwear to you, or something far stranger? Let me know what you think. Any humor left from the Colorado house elf vanishes instantly when you see this next clip. This is exactly why I always tell you to check your cameras and lock your windows before going to sleep. Imagine lying in bed, wrapped in blankets, feeling completely safe inside your second-floor apartment. Suddenly, your phone alerts you to movement outside the window. You open the camera feed and freeze. A pale, emaciated figure is clinging to the brick wall like a massive lizard. Watch the way its elongated limbs dig into the mortar as it climbs. This is not how a human moves. It ascends in total silence, its head tilted sharply to one side, as if listening to your breathing through the glass. This is the nightmare Native American tribes have warned about for generations. A skinwalker, a predator that can mimic forms but never hide the evil in its movements. Even the places we call home can turn into traps at any moment. Look at the joints protruding beneath that paper-thin skin. It reminds me of contortionists, but taken to an inhuman, feral extreme. I don't believe this is an ordinary burglar. No thief can climb a vertical wall like that without any equipment. After watching this, would you still dare leave your curtains open at night? Tell me honestly how it made you feel. We're heading to Amarillo, Texas, where a mystery is giving local officials and wildlife experts a serious headache. What you're seeing here is the only image recovered from a security camera at the Amarillo Zoo. Take a close look at this still frame, captured at 1:25 a.m. on May 21st. In the dead of night, just outside the zoo's fence, a figure appears to be standing upright and walking on two legs. Focus on its back and head. You can make out rough, bristling hair or sharp spines forming a silhouette that looks completely out of place. Online, people in the US joke that it was Sonic the Hedgehog or Rocket Raccoon sneaking off a Marvel set. But in a state soaked in legends of livestock draining monsters, this shape instantly triggered one name: Chupacabra. The most frustrating part is that the Amarillo Zoo camera only captured a still image. There is no video showing how this thing moves. Local authorities have admitted they are at a loss, because there is no known wild animal in Texas that stands and walks like this. Right now, I see two possibilities. Either a cryptid decided to take a midnight stroll through a residential area, or this was a very committed individual in a costume pulling a bizarre late-night prank. And finally, we travel to the outskirts of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, where this next entity will hit especially hard if you've ever played video games. If I were in this situation, survival instinct would have kicked in immediately. I would have turned around and left instead of pulling out a phone. Look at the massive block of muscle standing motionless in this open lot under the harsh Brazilian sun. It is huge, looming, and threatening, like a heavy caterpillar bulldozer waiting to crush anything in its path. Its skin is dark and rough, its anatomy twisted in a way that instantly brings to mind the Hell Knights from the classic game Doom 3. Instead of running, the people filming chose to move closer, as if stepping straight into a trap. Then the video cuts off without warning. There is no follow-up, no report confirming whether the group made it out safely. Just silence. It feels real enough to blur the line between digital fantasy and the real world. What do you think happened to the person holding the camera after the footage stopped? The line between reality and fiction seems to have vanished the moment our cameras began capturing things that were never meant to be seen. I'm not asking you to believe all 17 of these pieces of footage, because in a world dominated by visual effects and AI, truth has become a luxury. But if even just one out of these videos is real, then our entire understanding of the world would collapse. Be honest with yourself for a moment. Among all the creatures we've just seen, which one unsettled you the most? And don't forget, Steve is still here, listening to your stories of the unknown. Follow me so you don't miss what comes next.